On today's Toy Spot, we're going to be looking at a personal favorite of mine, continuing along with the Mojo series of Marvel Legends. Today we're going to be looking at Psylocke. Right off the bat is a figure I would have picked up whether she had a Build-A-Figure piece or not. Always been a huge fan of Psylocke. Let's first have a look at the package. Before we actually look at the figure itself, as you can see, build all 6 Mojo series figures and build your own Mojo. And some people are saying, no, don't build him, he's terrible. I love Mojo, guys. I love him. I don't love him as much as other things like Fluffer Nutters, but I do like Mojo quite a bit. As you can see, she does come with a comic, which we'll look at in a second. On the back of the package, collect them all. We've got Psylocke, we've got Longshot, we've got Luke Cage, we've got Baron Zemo, we got first appearance Iron Man, and finally we've got Falcon. And there are 3 variants to this wave. There are technically 2 more variants, but there are 3 variants to the wave. There is an unmasked Baron Zemo, there is an alternate costumed Falcon, and there is also the gold Iron Man. The other 2 variants, one of which being this Psylocke, there is a Psylocke as well as Luke Cage. And the Psylocke had the tattoo, the marking on her face, I believe it was red. And Luke Cage also had a variant, which was a silver shirt version of him. If anybody wants to check that out, I do suggest go check out, and I'll try to put his link down below here, do check out Solid Snake in My Pants. It's a solid snake in his pants. But he has done a video where he shows both versions of Psylocke and Luke Cage. Don't even bother looking for them online, because dude, you aren't going to find them. I'm trying to remember the story behind them, but for one reason or another, I think they were near into the end of the run, and they never got distribution, something along those lines. But definitely check out his video. You can see the first glance, close, almost as close as holding them in your hands. You can see first glance the very rare variants of both figures. The read-up on Psylocke says, once a forthright and proper British maiden, Betsy Braddock found herself transformed into a finely tuned warrior. Psylocke now lives according to her own rules, hated and feared by humanity as a member of the outlaw X-Men. She laid down her life in defense of a planet on the brink of a genetic war, fighting to maintain the future of our world. She's also 5'11", boys. So if you like your ladies tall, there you go, there's Psylocke. That's packaging aside. What we'll do, we'll get the package opened up, and we'll have a look at one of my favorite female Marvel Legends. We're going to be having a look at Psylocke. So stay tuned, guys. Don't go anywhere. And the comic that she does come with is the Uncanny X-Men number 258. $1.25. That's about the cost of a comic when I was collecting comics back in the day. If you flip up the comic, however, you'll see, oh, seems to be Wolverine in there. A bunch of hand ninjas as well. So if you do like that diorama, you can certainly take the clip that she has included, and you can clip it into place. You can have that behind her. I'm not going to do that. First of all, for the space, there's no way you can put all those dioramas behind each figure. You would need a room of substantially large size. Before we actually look at the figure as well, the checklist, the piece that she does come with, is probably, you probably can't even make out what it is. It's the side, I'm trying to think here, I believe it's the side love handles, give or take, of Mojo. Now, for the sake of building him, he's a little harder, I think, than putting him together versus, say, other figures where it's simply a man pants. You put in the legs, you put in the torso, head, if it is a head there is separate, and the arms. Mojo's a little bit different. I don't think you can outright put the piece into Mojo, because I think you need to have the other piece snapped in, the stomach, and then everything else before you put it actually into the base. Being that this is the first time I'm actually doing this, that's my guess. So for that reason, this checklist, this piece is going to stay separate for the time being until I've got the main piece of Mojo in place, and then he is actually going to I'm going to put him into his lower leg half later into the videos. But for the time being, she does come with a chunk of Mojo, which doesn't really look like much right now, but we'll move that aside, and let's get a look at Psylocke. Psylocke's not as great as she could have been, but it's still a pretty decent looking figure, and she's got quite the large behind as well. So if you're into that, it's right there. That's where the money is. The face isn't too bad. I mean, it could certainly be better. Now, I'm probably being very kind to this figure just because I have such a small crush on Psylocke. I always thought she was really cute looking. But yeah, the figure could have been better, but for what it is, it actually isn't too bad. The one thing it would have been nice, though, is the fact that she could have come with a sword or something else, or an energy, attachment. If you've seen my review of the Psylocke Marvel Mini-Mates, she does actually come with a little side thing. It would have been nice if maybe the Psylocke Marvel Legends could have done the same thing. That being aside, though, she certainly doesn't have the ugly body sculpt and make use of the ugly body that, like for example, Black Cat has, which to me, to this day, is still one of the worst female Marvel Legends. The body seems a little misproportioned with the way that the arms are and everything else, but again, it's not the worst. And again, I'm probably just being biased the fact that it's Psylocke. In the way of her articulation, she has her head can rotate. Again, not very well, but again, it could be also just the fact that, I got to just loosen it up a bit. Just got to loosen up, Psylocke. Don't worry. She has the ball-jointed shoulders. You can rotate at the bicep. You can bend the elbow at, again, 2 points. You can rotate the forearm, at least on her. You can bend the hand. There is no articulation in the hand, but as a trade-off, you do get a pretty nicely sculpted hand. So that I think that's a little nicer than articulated fingers and all that kind of stuff. She has a joint, not a kind of joint, but she has a mid-torso joint. You can actually rotate at the stomach area. She can also rotate in the waist area as well. So you can get her in several different poses. She has the ball-jointed legs. You can rotate at the thigh, 2 points bent in the knee. You can rotate in the calf. You can also bend at the foot. She has no point in the toe. Personally, if you ask me to, and I think I mentioned this in the video that I did on articulation, I don't really see a ball-jointed foot as really a big thing. If you want to have her pose in a certain way, it might be nice, but if there's any one point that you can omit in a figure, if you ask me, it's the point of articulation in her foot. And she also has a large behind. A decent figure. Yes, it could be better, but for what it is, though, she is a nice looking figure, and also being one of the only Psylocke figures out there, this is your best way to go. The Psylocke, I would give a 6 to. and definitely worth picking up. Again, it's a figure I would get even if she didn't have the Collect and Connect piece. It's still a decent figure nonetheless. That was a toy spot. Today we were looking at the Mojo series. We were looking at Psylocke with a nice derriere. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more toy spots to come, and I will see you guys next time.